you on this fine Monday?
It is so hot in this room. Like, oh, it's like a hot box in here.
It really is. I mean, I didn't really look at the temp before I came over here, but I know it's not. No, it's not cold. I'll tell you that much.
No, I literally think because my the AC, we only have one AC unit, and it's like in the next room over, but the room's kind of weirdly shaped. So, and like we have like a loft for it, so the air goes down into the fan, but it skirts by the door over here. So even if the door's open, all the cold air just misses this room.
You saying you were trying to set up like barricades to try and deflect the air in here?
No, because I bought a chair, and I had the chair. I put it up here to and I had the fan that's blowing on us right now. You could probably hear it. The audio might be a little crap because of the fan, but we need this.
Yeah, I think before our first episode, when we spent like an hour trying to figure out how any of this works, we shut the fan off for like maybe 10 minutes, and I was just beating sweat.
You were like, it was starting to you can see the salt.
I was dying over here. Oh, goodness.
How are you, Austin?
Doing good. I'm not sweating profusely yet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm doing good. I'm a little low on sleep. But other than that, it's Monday.
I honestly thought we weren't going to record today because I was so low energy.
Yeah.
Too. And we didn't record yesterday because God.
Yeah, I think between Friday and Saturday, I averaged like 4 hours of sleep.
That's impressive, but so unhealthy.
It's very not healthy. And I slept for like 7 hours last night, which I don't know, with how hot it is, I was waking up half the time, so it didn't even really count. I don't know, I'm struggling, but we're here. That's all that matters.
I'm gonna guess probably a little bit of a shorter episode today.
Might be a bit of shorter one.
A little slower on both our news fronts. So
at least the interesting stuff, in my opinion. But so I suppose you can hit us with that intro.
Oh yes. Hi, welcome to Balls and Blasters. I am Caleb.
I'm Austin.
And if you don't know what we do here, I am the blaster side, as you can see from all my nerd stuff. And I am here to teach Austin and hopefully you guys about nerdy topics / news.
And I'm Austin. I am the balls side, balls in the Balls and Blasters. It's for alliteration purposes.
It sounds good. It sounds very good.
And yes, I'm going to bring that up every time just because I think it's funny. I talk about sports, and I just try to teach Caleb about whatever random topics I think sound fun. And for any astute observers, I have forgotten my Play Like a Champion Today sign. But I do have my little leprechaun. So I didn't skimp out completely.
It kind of sucks that we are recording at my place because I just have all my stuff here, and you have to bring stuff over. So it's
a little awkward, but one of these days I'll get better at remembering things. So, well, I suppose this is episode 3. Did you say that?
Oh, this is episode 3. Yeah, this is our 3rd episode. We made it. We did it more than 1 week, more than 2 weeks. I didn't think we'd make it to our 3rd week, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, the first one's for fun. The second one's a coincidence. Now it's starting to become a habit.
And they say when you do something as a habit, it just gets easier and easier.
I hope so. All right. Well, I suppose we can roll right into whatever our topics are for today. I think I have an inkling of what you're going to talk about.
Yes. And we should preface by saying we lied at the end of last episode.
We did. Yes.
I saw the movie.
I did not. I was struggling with sleep, and I didn't want to fall asleep in the movie theater.
So that's valid, actually.
But you seem excited to talk about it, so I'm excited to listen.
I'm very excited to talk about the Fantastic Four First Steps movie.
Will there be any spoilers for the listeners at home?
I will try my best at the beginning to not give spoilers, but if I do give spoilers, I will preface by saying spoilers. And I'm learning more video editing, so hopefully I can include a spot that says spoilers, but I'm just going to shout out spoiler time and we'll go from there.
I think, usually we do a little bit of rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first, but I feel like this is a natural transition into your first topic.
So you're forfeiting the rock, paper, scissors is what you're saying.
Well, when you put it like that, see, now it's just competitive.
Should we just go for it?
All right, we can go for it.
Decide. All right. Oh, I'll shoot, right?
Yes.
Say that every time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, okay. Well, you get to go first. We're gonna wait for the Fantastic Four.
Did I win the first episode? I know you won last episode.
You've won. Yeah, so it's technically right now a back and forth on who goes first.
So, but I'm currently winning 2-1.
Yes, you are. You are.
Just wanted to make
there
was
a tie in there for our audio listeners, though. We both picked paper.
Well, the end result is what matters. All right, enough rambling. My first topic for episode 3 of Balls and Blasters, available on YouTube and Spotify.
And maybe other platforms if I can figure them out.
Coming soon. Over the weekend on Sunday, Major League Baseball had their Hall of Fame ceremony. And I thought it would be fitting, since it is the middle of baseball season, to talk about the inductees into the Hall of Fame, specifically the players, because they always induct players, executives, owners, anybody who helps the game grow. Admittedly, I don't know much about a lot of the executives and owners that get put in, so I'm going to focus on the players because that's the fun stuff.
The people who actually make the game fun.
Exactly. So this was a 5-player class, and because this will matter coming up shortly here, but there's essentially 2 different committees that can vote players into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So when you retire from Major League Baseball, there's a 5-year grace period before you get put onto the Hall of Fame ballot. And they do that because it happens every so often where a guy will say he's done, he'll be out for a year, and then he'll try to make a comeback. And so it'd be
like The Rock with wrestling.
Yes. A topic for maybe a future episode. That's like most wrestlers in wrestling. Except John Cena. I think he's serious. Maybe. Anyways, so there's the Professional Writers Association, which is essentially a group of writers, and I think like broadcasters, anybody who covers the sport on a day-to-day basis, that's like the main committee that votes players in. And so you're retired for 5 years, you get put on the ballot, and I believe the threshold is 15%. I think you need to get 15% of the vote, and there's over 300, almost 300 people that vote on this.
That's a really low number.
Yeah, I guess I don't disagree with that. I think it's low because they want it to be exclusive, But anyways, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but there's several hundred voters, and
the percentage wise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a big number for that.
Okay, fair enough. 15% is what you need to stay on the ballot. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So you don't get in if you get
correct.
15%.
So you need 15% of the voters to vote yes for you to stay on the ballot, and then you need 75% of the voters to vote yes to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so, if you get under 15%, tough luck, you're gone. And then if you're anywhere between 15 and 75, you get to stay on the ballot for 10 years. And if you don't make it at the end of those 10 years, you essentially go to it's called the Veterans Era Committee, or, excuse me, there's the Veterans Era Committee or the Classic Ball Era Committee, which is essentially a group of former players that each year they also get to decide if anybody gets elected. And I admittedly don't know how big that voting group is. But there's always one or two veterans committees, classic ball committees that end up getting voted in because
That's into the Hall of Fame.
into the Hall of Fame,
Oh.
correct. And so I think it's because some players aren't appreciated for when they play during their time. And the Professional Writers Association, if you're not like a chummy person or like you just have bad character, then maybe they won't vote for you. Which, is that right or wrong? There is a character clause for the Hall of Fame. So that character clause is why like steroid users don't get in, because you're like cheating the game.
I think like roid rage or something.
Well, and one of these players coming up here we'll talk about, a couple of them actually are very controversial characters, and that could have played a factor into why
Barry Bonds.
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's the only one I know.
All right. So that's kind of the background of the Hall of Fame and whatnot. So let's go down the list of players, starting with, if you know any of these 5 players, this might be the one you would know. This guy was selected on his first year on the ballot. His name is Ichiro Suzuki. No? Yeah. That's okay. Because you're not going to know the other ones. Ichiro Suzuki is kind of an enigma. He is a very unique player. His main claim to fame is he is the first ever Japanese-born position player in Major League Baseball. There was a Japanese pitcher a couple decades before, but he is the first position player. He was an outfielder for the Seattle Mariners.
What is Shohei?
Shohei,
Is he from Japan?
yes, he
Okay,
is Japanese. Yep, that is correct.
What does he play?
Shohei is what they call a two-way player.
Oh.
So he pitches and hits, which makes him very unique. He, depending on who you ask, he is either the most talented player to ever play the game of baseball, or B, certainly the most unique since like Babe Ruth.
But this guy was the first Japanese-born player.
Correct. Position player.
This player.
That is. I can't remember the pitcher's name off the top of my head. It's like Murakama or something like that. He was a pretty decent pitcher back in the day. So Ichiro is the first Japanese-born position player. He, across his entire career, so he grew up in Japan. He played professional baseball in Japan for 9 years. And then decided, like, okay, essentially to get from the, it's called the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Nippon?
Yeah.
I figured you would be the one to ask. Nippon?
I am Nippon. Can I do a little fun fact for you?
Yeah, go for it.
If you technically, when you say Japan, that's the Portuguese word for Japan. In English, English speakers would technically call Japan Nippon.
Okay.
Because that's what it is in Japanese as well.
Gotcha.
But Japan, I don't know why. I think because the Portuguese were like the only like Westerners that were allowed in Japan. But since they call it Japan, everybody calls it Japan since they kind of spread it to the Western world.
Gotcha.
But if you were like, but it's Japan is officially like on the world stage called Nippon.
Okay.
Or Nippon.
The more you know.
Yeah.
The more you know. I figured it was a Japanese word. I just didn't.
No, it's just the word for Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Ichiro played 9 years in the Nippon Professional Baseball League. And at the time that Ichiro was playing in Japan was considered equal to like the minor leagues over here. So it's good baseball, but it's not the best baseball.
I know it's like huge.
It's massive. These days, I think you could make the argument that it's getting closer to Major League Baseball as far as like talent level, but I would still say Major League Baseball still has the edge. So anyways, 9 years. And the way you get from Japan to the MLB is you essentially have to like post or like legally allow yourself to like, hey, Major League Baseball, I want to come play Major League Baseball. Can you come and sign me? And so then like a bidding war starts essentially. And I believe Ichiro chose the Seattle Mariners because it's just the closest to Japan.
That's valid. Went to Seattle. There were like a lot of like just like Asian like shops, restaurants everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think it's got a huge Asian like culture as well.
Which would make sense. And then he spent 19 seasons playing Major League Baseball. So 28 total professional seasons.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And he was like 45-ish when he retired, close to that. So yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of a background on Ichiro. He's not a power hitter. He's a get on base, what they would maybe call like a slap hitter. He's just looking to get singles. He was notorious for getting infield base hits where he would just lightly hit the ball on the ground and then run to first base before they could get him out.
So he was like, watch this, buddy. They're running. So a power hitter is like you're going for home runs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So like Shohei Ohtani would be considered a power hitter.
Okay.
Gotcha. And actually, since we're on that power hitting topic, a lot of his teammates will tell you that he is an underrated power hitter because the legend is that during batting practice, in between or before games, he could hit the ball out of the yard with anybody. He just chose not to do it in a game because that's not how he wanted to play.
So he's got kind of like more of a almost code for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a batting practice fastball is different than a game fastball, so that might have something to do with it too.
Like maybe he was like waiting just like if his team's down a lot, is just waiting to pull it out, but just never did.
And the funny, so if he ever hit a home run, he was a left-handed hitter. He was always pulling it to the right field because that's just the easiest way to hit a home run if you're a lefty. And he usually, like, when he got a hold of one, he could hit it pretty far.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy with his build. He's a very slightly built man.
Like a slender almost.
Yeah. Very quick. And he's an elite defender in his day. He won many gold gloves for being the best defender at his position.
Sorry, what position did he play?
He played mainly right field.
Oh, okay.
So he was very well known for his arm, meaning he had a rocket attached to his arm and he could throw very hard, very far. Couple quick stats about Ichiro that are important to know. He has the single season record for base hits in one season with 262. So there's 162 games in a season. So he's getting over a hit a game.
So he basically got a hit a game and then add an extra 100.
Pretty much. So he's really good.
Yeah, it sounds pretty.
And then
Pretty baller.
The other hit stat to know, and this is controversial amongst purist Major League Baseball fans. Technically, Ichiro Suzuki has the record for most professional baseball hits.
Really?
If you combine his Japan stats with his Major League Baseball stats, he has 4,367 career hits. Why is this controversial? Because most people view Japan as a lower league, fair or not. And so Major League Baseball fans, specifically Pete Rose fans, who holds the current MLB record with like around 4,200 career hits, he got all of those in Major League Baseball. So he's got the MLB record.
Where do you stand on that?
I'm not a Pete Rose fan.
Yeah.
He's very, very controversial. And then perhaps that maybe I could talk about other controversial characters in baseball in a different pod. I think Japan, the Nippon Baseball League, is a very good league. And if Ichiro wants to trot around saying, yeah, I own the record for most career professional hits, hard to tell him he's wrong. you know, but Major League Baseball, it's definitely Pete Rose. He would be considered the hit king, who is also a very similar player to Ichiro. So there's that, and then so he's also one of 33 players in the history of Major League Baseball to achieve 3,000 career hits. There's been a lot of players in Major League Baseball, so only 33. It's a very exclusive club. Essentially, if you get to 1,000 career hits, you're like, oh, that dude carved out a good career for himself, above average career. If you get to 2,000 career hits, that's where people are like, we got to start talking about this guy for the Hall of Fame. If you get to 3,000, that's like no brainer, one of the best hitters we've ever seen.
So it's like you got to get on base to get the hit, the count, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as you hit the ball and the fielding team does not commit an error, you get a base hit.
That's like really impressive to get down to
Right.
4,000 or 3,000, 4,000.
Right. And I think that's all I got on Mr. Ichiro. But yeah, so he got elected into the Hall of Fame with 99.7% of the vote.
Who's the one or the one or two bastards?
There's one voter, and he has not revealed himself.
That's crazy. No, if you hear a guy like already has like a would say like a 28-year career,
Yeah.
like even if 9 of those are like in a different league, it's like I feel like that's an automatic, like just to stay that long
Right.
in a
It's
major
impressive.
league, like any sport. It's like you've got to be at least like a contender for Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that statement whatsoever. Before I move on to the next player here, there is only one. This is probably going to blow your mind because any baseball fan will tell you this is just the dumbest thing ever. There is only one player in the history of Major League Baseball since the Hall of Fame has been since its inception. Only one player has gotten 100% of the vote.
Who's that?
That would be Mariano Rivera.
That does sound familiar.
I love how he's more familiar than Ichiro.
I feel like I've like heard that name before.
Which is fair. So you've probably heard of him before. He was a New York Yankee. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
For his entire career. And he is the greatest relief pitcher / closer in the history of the game. Like, not even a debate. And so I think he got 100% of the vote because it's like widely considered like, yeah, he's the best at what he did. How could he not have 100% of the vote? But then like why doesn't Babe Ruth have 100% of the vote? Who knows? There's many reasons, but
Babe Ruth also like was he like a big smoker on the field?
Oh yeah, he was not a very healthy man.
Yeah, like a crap talker.
Oh yeah. There's a lot. Babe Ruth is so popular because there's so much lore about him. How much of it is true? Who's to say? So my next player I want to talk about here, his name is CC Sabathia. He is a left-handed pitcher. He spent his career, he came up with at the time they're the Cleveland Indians. They have since become the Cleveland Guardians. He was then traded to Milwaukee for half a season to play for the Milwaukee Brewers. And then he signed a big free agent deal with the New York Yankees. And he uniquely is a legend at all three of those stops. So
he's a pretty big contender as well.
Yes. So left-handed pitcher, he's a power pitcher, meaning once upon a time he could throw 100 miles an hour. And now I don't remember off the top of my head if he was a changeup or a curveball guy or a slider. But we should talk about pitches one time.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good topic.
When I did play baseball in like middle school, I was a pitcher. So
hell yeah,
I know a little how to pitch a ball.
So CC Sabathia was a rookie at the same time that Ichiro was a rookie. And I mean rookie as in Major League Baseball rookie. So the year that Ichiro came to the MLB was the year that CC Sabathia came up with Cleveland. So I had mentioned he's a legend at all three of his different destinations for three different reasons. He was just overall a fantastic pitcher at all these locations. But in Cleveland is where he won his American League Cy Young Award, which is the award for the best pitcher in the American League. And then Cleveland was...
Sorry, that was his first team, right?
Yes, correct.
That's pretty impressive already.
Yes, and he won it like early in his career. Like he came up and pretty much was just a dude like right away.
Yeah.
Like he was really, really good. And then Cleveland had a couple lean years as a baseball team. And so when the trade deadline came around, they decided to trade CC Sabathia to get prospects and help rebuild their team. He was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers. And this is the only half season he ever spent with Milwaukee. But I think if you ask a Brewers fan, he would still be considered a Milwaukee Brewers legend. And I think if you ask a baseball fan, they would tell you the most memorable part of his career is the half season he spent with Milwaukee. Why?
That's kind of crazy.
So Milwaukee had a very good team that year, and they were in a heated battle with, I believe, the Chicago Cubs to win their division. And at the time, they needed to win the division to get into the playoffs. And Milwaukee hadn't been to the playoffs. I have it written down here. In 26 years. So he was traded to Milwaukee in the middle of the 2008 season. So, and it had been 26 years. So quick math, that would be 1982. 18 plus 8 is 26.
Yeah.
So the Brewers hadn't been in the playoffs since 1982.
Hasn't the Cubs at this point also not been in a while?
The Cubs, so what you might be thinking of is their World Series drought, which did end.
I knew about that. But so what year is this?
For
His like half season?
2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would they be also in the kind of dry spell as well?
As far as like they're winning a World Series championship, yes. But no, the Cubs they're not like perennially in the playoffs, but they don't go on long playoff droughts typically. They're a very famous and wealthy club.
Okay. So I must have just been a little confused. Maybe it was Milwaukee that I was thinking of then.
Who knows? So why is this run so legendary? Like I said, CC Sabathia is one of the best pitchers in the league at this time. And the Brewers picked him up to fuel their push to the playoffs. And CC Sabathia was in his contract year, meaning he was going to be a free agent at the end of the season. And so when that happens, it's very important to not only play well, but not get hurt. But especially like players today, like it's very important you like stay healthy. Don't overextend yourself because you want to try and make that life-changing money. CC Sabathia did not give a damn about any of that because he's a dog like that. And he wants to win and he wants to make the playoffs. He's a pit bull. He's a bulldog. He essentially, it's 9-inning games. He would pitch 7 to 8 innings per game for the Brewers regularly. And this is in like 10 to 15-ish starts. And usually there's a 5-man starting rotation. So you get 5 days of rest. CC Sabathia said, no, I'm going to pitch on 3 days rest because we're making the playoffs, which is very dangerous for a pitcher to do because you can overuse your arm,
especially
risk injury.
8 innings too.
Oh yeah. And he had I want to say like 3 or 4 complete games with the Brewers in just that half of a season. So, I mean, and he literally put his career on the line just to get Milwaukee to the playoffs. And I think they lost in the first round anyways. But when you haven't been in 26 years, you'll take just getting there. So that's why he's a legend there. Why is he a legend in New York? Because he was fantastic for them, and that's where he won his World Series ring. Actually won in his first year with New York in 2009.
So he's just an all-around baller.
Yeah. He's one of them dudes. So Major League Baseball is split into the American League and the National League. He's got the most strikeouts for an American League pitcher who's a left-hander in the history of the American League. That's a fun stat. He's one of 20 pitchers in Major League Baseball history with 3,000 career strikeouts. So we talked about how 3,000 hits is like, holy crap, this dude's amazing. 3,000 strikeouts is the equivalent for a pitcher.
Dang. You pitched 300 or 3,000 people and you struck them out.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. How many like times? Well, I guess he is like doing 8-9 inning games sometimes, but
Right. And at the time, so he's a power pitcher, so he throws very fast. It's hard to hit when you throw that fast. His other pitches were very nasty, so he was very much a strikeout guy for his career. And he's there's 20 pitchers with 3,000 strikeouts in their career. He's only one of 4 left-handed pitchers to do that. So he's in a very, very exclusive class. And I am a Red Sox fan, so I didn't like him growing up because he played for the Yankees, and he always struck me out when I played MLB The Show. CCY. So it took me a little bit longer to get through those 2 players. So would you like to talk about your topic, and then I can wrap up my 3 other players? Maybe give these guys a break from all my baseball talk.
So, Austin, unfortunately, we did not get together and see Fantastic Four.
I was napping.
Yes. I saw it with my dad, sister, and girlfriend instead. So
A family adventure.
yes, exactly. No, it's kind of, we almost showed up. We showed up kind of late. We were like rushing, but we made it in time.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. So can I just tell you, this is not really a spoiler. You know how when the movie starts, like you got like the trailers, and then you got like that like opening cinematic, like oh, the movie's starting. Yeah, that played, and then there was an Avatar 3 trailer right after that. I was like, oh, I'm so excited. So okay, I've prefaced, I love this movie. I love the movie, but I was a little mad about that because I was like, you couldn't have put it before. Right. It's like, okay. Like, again, I'm really excited for that movie too, but it's like,
the time.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm geared, I'm ready. Avatar.
Gotta make that bread.
Exactly. But Fantastic Four, the first steps, Marvel's first family, their debut into the MCU. It was a banger.
Yeah?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So you're saying I missed out.
You missed out heavily. So, the characters you've played, Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
There's Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. There's Sue Storm, Invisible Woman. There's Human Torch, Johnny Storm, and then Ben Grimm, the Thing. And the main villain is Galactus. This movie grossed, I think, North America box office $118 million, and then worldwide $218 million.
So I think last episode you talked about like benchmarks to reach for that first week. What was that benchmark again?
I think it is 100 million North American. You're destined to
at least make your money back.
Yes, for sure. I don't think a big budget film with this. I think when we go back to Superman, I think right now it's at 700 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to cross that $1 billion mark. It might, but as the movie goes on, it like the numbers dwindle more and more. Right. So, actually, I think sometimes the second week is bigger than the first week because people are like, "Oh my god, this movie's actually good. Let's go see it." But yeah, Fantastic Four was incredible. I thought they did exactly what I wanted. Best, like, Marvel has gotten back into its like groove. with this. If you didn't know, there's gonna be no spoiler talk right now. No spoiler talk. This is all stuff that was shown in the trailers and stuff. It's set in a different universe from the MCU.
Okay,
So there are no heroes besides the Fantastic Four in this universe.
that is interesting.
And I think that makes this movie feels like the first Iron Man movie or the first Captain America movie, where there wasn't like any heroes besides those two in their own respective movies. So like you had like there's no references to anybody else. It's just the Fantastic Four dealing with threats.
So do you think this is... So is this Marvel saying, screw it, let's just restart a new universe? Or like a separate universe, I should say? Or is it them setting, like, because the whole big thing was the multiverse forever?
Well, here's the thing is it's Ben Grimm. Sorry.
I enjoyed that. That's okay.
So Kevin Feige, the main producer of all the MCU stuff right now, he said that Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic, is going to be the new leader of the Avengers, but the Fantastic Four aren't in the Avengers universe. What? So like the stuff with like Doomsday and Secret Wars.
As far as...
So Doomsday is supposed to be like Doctor Doom being like the main villain.
Okay, yep.
And the theory is that there's going to be like dimension hopping and stuff. So that's how the Fantastic Four will get to the main MCU timeline.
Gotcha.
As well. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because after Secret Wars, Kevin Feige just came out and said that there's going to be a complete reboot of all MCU. New Iron Man, new Captain America, new all X-Men movies, or they're going to make X-Men movies, they're going to make Fantastic Four movies, all in a new universe.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they're saying, hey, you know what? This is fun. We're starting this stuff over.
So, like, obviously, most of these characters just have a whole bunch of comics to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to try and tell a new story, or are they building off the one that they have?
Well, the fun thing was with the MCU, so we'll get back to Fantastic Four. This stuff's a little interesting. But the fun thing is that when the MCU dropped, they didn't have any access to the Fantastic Four, no access to X-Men, and no access to Spider-Man. And if you look at like what Marvel Comics is, like, you're missing 3 of your 4 main pillars of your universe. So you have to build it with the Avengers, and that allowed them to get a lot more creative. And because that Iron Man and Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Thor, they were all B-list heroes. Like, Hulk was A-list, but like these are like way lesser known heroes than Wolverine, Spider-Man, The Thing.
Which honestly makes it how popular the franchise ended up being, like, really impressive.
Exactly. But now you've built like all these characters up so high, and you had to do that because you didn't have your biggest heroes that you could use. So my guess is that they would go for more of the traditional stories, because Wolverine is in a lot of Avengers stories, but they couldn't use Wolverine. And Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are both X-Men and Avengers. And so that's the thing of they were allowed to have Quicksilver in both the MCU and the X-Men universe.
Okay.
But yeah, so my guess is they're going to go for more of the traditional, like, big stories. And Spider-Man is a big part of the Fantastic Four as well.
Okay.
There's even a point where like he joins the Fantastic Four.
I didn't know that Spider-Man and Scarlet Witch were related to the Fantastic Four at all, or like were heavily involved in their story.
Oh, I don't think Scarlet Witch is in the Fantastic Four. She's X-Men and Avengers.
X-Men, sorry. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because technically they're mutants. Her and Quicksilver are mutants.
Okay.
And Magneto's their father.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. but I think right now he's not their father. I don't know.
You are not the father.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh no, it was a trick. It was a lie. Whatever. But yes, Fantastic Four. Back to Fantastic Four. So this movie doesn't set that up. I'll say that. I don't think it does. But it's just a really nice story about like just these four heroes just being heroes.
Yeah.
I it's really hard to talk in spoilers, but I think I really liked how every character was like kind of shown like with care and respect.
They took time to build up each character within the movie.
Yes, and I do like it too because in this movie, the Fantastic Four have been heroes for a while too.
So we're not meeting them when they figure out they're superheroes or when they become superheroes.
No, it's just like somebody grabbed a comic book, like somebody handed you a comic book and said, "Read this."
Yeah.
You kind of start in the middle of their story.
Right. So that almost kind of reminds me of like, and I know with the Avengers storyline, you know, the first movie that came out is Iron Man 1, and it's like the introduction, like how Iron Man came to be, but chronologically that's not the first thing that happened. You know, so I like the idea of just like, here's this action-packed thriller with all these really cool characters you're familiar with, and then we'll like flashback later if we need to.
Exactly.
You know,
and in this story, it gives you a little bit that's like, like Reed Richards is like, oh yeah, we went up to space and got cosmic powers, and now we're here, and that's like all it is.
Yeah,
it's like which I love that because like you don't need the big explaining of how they became superheroes. I think it's much more interesting to jump right into the middle of their story, and then like you said, flashback if they ever need to.
And you were saying that the Fantastic Four are, or like historically, are very popular.
Oh yes, I think one time they were the most sold comic.
So it makes sense to just like dive right into it, because you're saying with like some of the, like in the Avengers storyline, like these aren't the most popular, so maybe it's worth, you know, telling their origins.
I would say that. And when they did Spider-Man, I would show it to a kin of almost like Spider-Man in the MCU, how they didn't explain his origin story, because you've seen it like a million times already. You know, Uncle Ben dies. Spoiler alert if you didn't know that. Sorry. But yeah, Uncle Ben dies, and with great power comes great responsibility. Also, a little fun fact: do you know that in the original comic, Peter says that to himself? It was only retconned later that Uncle Ben said, "With great power comes great responsibility."
Dramatized purposes,
I guess. I think it makes more sense for Uncle Ben to say it anyways.
This is kind of random, but I'm curious. How many Spider-Man movies do they show him actually getting bit by a spider? Because I don't think Tom Holland's is like that.
Because there's not the origin. There's Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Verse. Of the three Spider-Man franchises I've seen, all three of those show him get bit by a spider.
Gotcha. Obviously, it's essential to a storyline, but that's, again, they probably skipped that part because like you get it.
Yeah, you've seen this a million times over. You don't need to see it again.
Right.
You get it, and I think that's what they were trying to do with the Fantastic Four is, you don't need to see it, because that's not. We're not trying to tell an origin story. We're trying to tell a story of where these characters are in the now, which I think is way more impactful too. Because audience, I mean, some people are pretty dumb, but most people, they get it. They get, oh, these people are superheroes. I don't need to know how they became superheroes. I need to know what they do as superheroes.
Wasn't that kind of a big criticism with like the Eternals, where it's just like I personally, I thought it was a decent movie because I understood the purpose of the movie, but it's a lot of just like slow storytelling, like trying to describe who these people are.
It's like exposition dump, because at one point you just like start explaining Celestials and you're like, that's really cool. I can agree, that is really cool. That should have been in like the Thanos or like the Avengers Endgame or something like that, or Infinity War when they're like going for the stones. It could have been used. That could have been Thor's storyline, because I think the weakest part of Infinity War is Thor's storyline.
Yeah,
hot take, but
I mean, I feel like most people think the Thor character went way downhill after Ragnarok.
Yeah,
which
I mean, Thor. We went to Thor Ragnarok together, right? I was laughing the entire time. Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Like in the moment, I remember like this is so funny. I love this movie, but then
you look back at it, you're
like they kind of fumbled that one. Not to mention, like you get what's his face? He used to play Batman. The main
Christian Bale.
Yeah, you get Christian Bale to be in your movie, and you just treat him like garbage.
No, and Gore is such a good character in everything else, like comics and stuff like that, that you really like. You could have used that for a different Thor movie,
right?
Or he should have been more of the focus. Because I think it was a mistake, because the Jane Foster storyline is also really good, but I think those two storylines should be separate.
Yeah,
because like the Jane one is so good and the Gore one is so good, but you don't need to do those together. But yes, Fantastic Four. I can't really talk more about it than how much I like it without spoilers. So right now, this is your spoiler warning. I'm going to give me your phone. Okay. Put it on a timer.
I will put it on a timer. You go and do what you need to do.
All right. So I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. And I will tell you, for our audio listeners, if I stop early. But right now, this is your warning. 10 minutes of spoilers. And that is it, starting now. So this movie is fucking incredible. You got the Silver Surfer in there too, Shalabal. Galactus is just a big giant man. If you didn't know, they're looking for so Reed Richards and Sue Storm are having a baby in this. Okay. And Galactus, because it's Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is the most powerful hero in like all Marvel. Because he's a mutant and stuff. And his parents are Sue and Reed, but he's also a mutant, so he already was getting powers from Reed and Sue, but then he got mutated and became them too. And he has reality warping powers.
It's kind of gangster,
yeah, or the power cosmic, as Galactus calls it. And he basically is going, I want your firstborn child to take over my throne, and I'll spare Earth. And the Fantastic Four is like, no, we're not going to do that shit. So, that's the whole movie centers around.
Okay.
Is trying to stop Galactus from eating Earth. He eats planets, and taking Franklin away.
So you were saying, so this pretty much just drops you right into the middle of Fantastic Four. Like, hey, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Franklin at this point?
He's not even born yet.
Okay.
At the start of the movie, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then the cool thing, there's the Mole Man in this movie, which is he plays actually a bigger part than you'd think. He's a really classic Fantastic Four villain. The first ever Fantastic Four comic book cover, they recreate that right away in the movie with Giganto. It's like a big monster, and it's like the exact same, like they're all doing the same poses and stuff.
Yeah.
There was an original Fantastic Four movie that never got released, and the cast of that is in this as well, which is really cool. Like, hey, Fantastic Four. Miles Teller is not in this, or Michael B. Jordan. They are both not in this though, from that really terrible movie.
Not a fan.
It was so bad. I was like, man, that's fantastic. Say that again. You know, like that meme.
Yeah.
That's from that movie. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
But yeah, and this, like, the whole point is stopping Galactus from trying to take Franklin away. And do they succeed in that? What do you think?
I mean, it is a superhero movie.
They do, but the cool thing is the way they defeat Galactus. I'm not gonna spoil this, but they don't kill him. They don't like negotiate with him either. So I'll leave that up for you.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But it's really cool seeing just the family, like, actually, like, there's so much like good chemistry and stuff between like Johnny and the Thing, Reed and Sue, and they all have like something to do in the movie.
Yeah.
Like they're and it's so sad because I think the weakest character in the movie is the Thing.
Like weakest as like not the best built, or like,
no, like
he
written.
like gets beat up all the
No,
time.
written.
Okay.
Like I do think Johnny is the best written character in the movie by far. He has a lot to do. He's not as smart as the others, but like he basically like decodes a message, and you're like I couldn't fucking decode a message. Sorry.
Yeah.
Freaking decode a message.
The children.
No, they're not gonna listen to this. And like Sue is like, you can tell she's like the heart of the family, and she gives like a speech in the movie that's like about how, because the world basically wants them to give up Franklin, and because they tell him like, oh yeah, Galactus said that he wants our firstborn child, so that, and the world's like, do it. What the fuck do you do it? But she gives a really good speech about how, and the one line is really cool, is like, I will not give up my child for this world, but I will also not give up the world for this child. So it's like yeah, and it's really good. And like I am so impressed with Pedro.
Yeah. I know last episode we were talking about like actors getting put in too many things.
Oh, I see him as Reed. He did it perfectly.
Yeah.
He like I will say I do wish he used his powers more, because out of everybody he uses his powers the least.
Okay.
If you didn't know, for the sports guys out there, he's got stretchy powers. He can stretch his body all around. Oh yeah, I should probably preface, Invisible Woman, she can turn invisible, but she also makes force fields. The Thing is just a rock guy, and he's super strong. And Human Torch, you can guess what he does. Yes, he turns himself on fire.
Is the play on that because like he's kind of a hothead?
Yeah, but so he's always been like the most problematic character.
Okay.
Because he's like the ladies' man or whatever, but like there was a weird thing about like people like wanting to why is he asking for consent? Like, it's like, what? Wait, hold on.
You're asking the wrong question.
It was like just shit like that. It's like, he's a ladies' man. He should like do what he wants or whatever. But no, they did him, and that's why I think he's the best written character of this movie, is that they rode that line of like him being like a hothead ladies' man, but also being like a hero and like whatever, and like for modern times and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he's funny. But he's still, at the end of the day, like at one point in the movie, he tries to sacrifice himself.
Okay.
Because
there's some nobleness in there.
Yes, exactly. Yep. He's like the youngest and the hothead, and like the dumb, like you would even say like the dumbest, but like probably like the most like pure of heart.
Yeah.
Is him. Yeah. Yeah. And the Thing, like, he doesn't really have much to do in the movie. And that's like the saddest thing is because he is like probably the most complex character of the Fantastic Four. Of like, because like, they all got to keep like their human forms.
He didn't.
Yeah. He got turned into a big rock monster, and like the best stories with him are like him dealing with that of like I'm not human anymore.
Right.
Like,
because he can't go back and forth. That's just how he is now.
Yes,
Yeah.
all he is just a rock monster. So, but I think overall, just they did everything so well in this movie. And post-credit scene, you got a little Doctor Doom in there. It's like 4 years later after all this has happened, and they're sitting in the living room, and Sue's like reading a book to Franklin, and she goes and grabs a different book for him to read, and she comes back, and you don't see the face, you just see the hood, the green hood and the mask just right over Franklin. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Are there any scenes in the movie where like it's kind of like, because you saw, I mean, opening weekend just in general, there's usually pretty lively crowds for some of these movies. Were there any scenes in the movie that got like a big reaction out of the crowd?
The only one, because I went to like a Sunday one,
Yeah.
so it was just like a bunch of like older people and families.
Yeah.
And the only one that got like a big like laugh was right at the beginning of the movie. They find out Sue's pregnant, and Johnny goes, "You're gonna be the best mom in the world." And it's like, he goes to Reed, he goes, "And you're gonna be the best dad in the world." "Just kidding, you're way out of your depth." And like all the older people laughed.
All the dads and moms.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah,
fair enough.
I'm sure if I went to like a later screening or a earlier screening, or like a earlier, we would have been.
Yeah, we're beyond our 10 o'clock at night viewings on Thursdays.
Oh God, no! I gotta work and stuff now. But yeah, you gotta see it. I know I just spoiled a little bit for you, but I
think you held back enough to where I would still really enjoy just the process of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think I spoiled the main topics and stuff, but.
Are we done spoiling?
We are. Give him. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. We are back to no spoilers. Overall, I'd say if I had to give it I like to do out of 5 stars.
Yep.
Instead, because
I was going to ask you this. So
yes. I like doing 5 stars though over 10 stars because when you do 10 stars, when you say 5 out of 10, you're like, oh, that's really bad.
Right, when 5 out of 10 really just means it's like middle of the road.
Yeah, but when you do 3 out of 5, it sounds a lot better. It's like, oh, right. So it wasn't like horrible. I give it a 4.
4?
Yeah. Again, I don't think it was the best MCU movie.
Okay.
I just think it's a huge step in the right direction.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You think they're going to really build some momentum off this?
Oh, yes, 100%. Like, this is what they needed.
Right.
I would say. Because, like, I mean, this is going to be the third time I'm bringing it up. 3 for 3. I still can't believe Thunderbolts flopped. I still can't believe it. I can get Captain America and stuff like that because I heard that movie still wasn't that good. But like Thunderbolts, what the hell?
Yeah,
I love that movie. That was really good. I would say this is better than Thunderbolts though.
Okay. Out
of the last few movies that have came out, I think the only one to like be around it is Guardians for sure, and then Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
I would still put Guardians 3 above this movie though.
Guardians is just all hits, no misses.
Oh, exactly. No, exactly. Yeah, it's hard. And then James Gunn just got Superman going too, so it's like he's still winning. Oh, and then the debate of which movie is better, Superman or Fantastic Four. It's a close call. They're both amazing movies. I would still have to say Superman.
So
yeah. I think Superman was like, they both had such a great message. They both had a lot. They both did a lot for their respective like brands like Marvel and DC, but I think Superman was just slightly better.
Any particular reason? You just enjoyed the story more, or
I think the message. I think the message is
Okay.
what got me of like, or just like the endings. Superman had an ending of hope, and Fantastic Four. Not spoiler. Also had that, but it didn't. I don't think it. Like Superman, it just like it hit harder.
it sounds like it ends like a typical MCU movie.
Yes, yes.
You know?
I would say that. I think that's the weakest part of the movie is the ending. It's like,
Yeah.
but
Which
I will say too. This is not a spoiler for Fantastic Four. It's funny without being quippy.
I like that.
Yes, it's like the only one who quips really is Johnny, and that's just that, and that's like part of his character. Like everybody else is like the humor happens way more naturally,
Which I think is just way more effective, and I think that's probably why people loved the MCU movies as much as they did. Is because like the MCU movies, I think are like low key responsible for killing like your 90s comedies, like the Adam Sandler comedies, the Jim Carrey comedies. Like those comedies don't do well anymore, maybe because they're past their time, but because
some of them are kind of wild. Like when you go back and watch, you're like, what?
Yeah.
How did they get away with this?
But I think like Marvel was really responsible for like here's an action-packed thriller that interweaves comedy throughout, and I think people just started to be more attracted to that. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just a good time.
It's a good time.
Shall we get back into some players now?
Get back in a little bit of baseball. Why not? I want to say it's the middle of baseball season and there's like not a lot going on. So, and I love baseball. So I know there's been baseball every single episode. I try to mix it up if I can.
We started kind of an awkward time too.
A little bit, but
I think Porky Big Dude, oh my god. I think it's nice to start right now so that when stuff actually does get going, we're more comfortable doing this. So
I do plan on a college football topic next week that builds off the one from last week about the playoff. And then I might try to find some NFL stuff because, I mean, it's the most popular sport in America, training camp, all that stuff. So that will happen. All right. I got 3 more players to go through here. It took a long time to get to the first 2. I'm going to try and move a little bit quicker through these last 3. But as always, cut me off and ask a question because I'm here to teach.
yes, sir.
Okay. Our third player. So the first 2 players, Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, they were voted in on their first ballot after they retired by the Professional Writers Association. These next 3 players, I just want to make sure. Oh, no, I lied. We have 1 more player that was voted in by the writers. 2 of these other players were voted in by the Players Committee, the Veterans Committee, meaning they had been off the ballot for a long time. And they're like, oh, hey, actually, this guy needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Does it happen when the players are dead and they get voted in, or do they have to be alive?
They do not have to be alive to be voted in or inducted, which is a fantastic transition into my next player. Perfect. So thank you, Mr. Caleb. This is by far the most, in my opinion, the most interesting inductee and one of the most interesting players of all time, in my opinion. His name is Dave Parker, and he was a right fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates for most of his career. I think he spent some time with another team. I don't remember off the top of my head. But man, this is he is wild card, maybe a good way to describe him. He's his own person. And he is unapologetically Dave Parker. His nickname was the Cobra.
Oh,
The Cobra. And I feel bad because I didn't do research into how he got the nickname. Might have to research that, and that'll be my little intro for next episode because it's a fantastic nickname.
it's like a snake.
Yes.
Usually, when you get called a snake, it's bad. So I wonder if it's a good or bad nickname.
It depends on who you ask, maybe. So Dave Parker, like Ichiro Suzuki, is a right fielder with a cannon for an arm. The difference is Dave Parker has much more power to his game, hit a lot more home runs. So we had transitioned into Mr. Parker about, do you have to be alive to be inducted? So when the voting came in and the results were released, he was alive to see his name say like, hey, Dave Parker, you're being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And then he passed away about a month later.
Oh, who's this?
This was maybe about a little more than a month ago at this point.
Oh, dang.
So he was posthumously inducted. I believe it was his kid because part of being inducted into the Hall of Fame is you get to go make a speech. I believe it was one of his sons that got to do the speech for him, essentially. Excuse me. So he's a controversial player because I think it starts off. So he's a right fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He played from in 70s and 80s and then a little into the 90s, I believe. He replaced maybe the most popular, the most legendary Pittsburgh Pirate of all time in Roberto Clemente, who is also a Hall of Famer, number retired by Pittsburgh. Roberto Clemente is not only one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game, he's one of the greatest humanitarians to ever play the game. He is from, oh gosh, I'm going to look this up just because I don't want to get it wrong.
I played baseball in middle school. I'm just giving some B-roll here. And I played outfield and pitcher. Austin, actually, we met playing baseball. So, yes.
These are facts. This is true.
Yes.
We're on the same team. So Roberto Clemente is from Puerto Rico, and Roberto Clemente actually passed away on a flight to Puerto Rico. The flight was to provide aid to Puerto Rico.
I think I've heard about that, actually.
So, obviously a tragic way for our life to come to an end. And I believe he was still playing when this happened. I believe that's correct. But if you read up on Roberto Clemente, I think it's a very fitting way for him to go out. If there ever was a way to fittingly go out, I guess. So that's who Mr. Dave Parker, the Cobra, has to replace, is like the most famous Pittsburgh Pirate of all time. So I think fans were probably tough on him and expected a lot out of him. And he didn't always respond to criticism well. He didn't really enjoy people telling him what to do, and he would clap back at fans and media if he felt the need to do so. So that's part of the reason why he's controversial. I do want to get the controversial stuff because I feel bad at telling people why he's controversial when this is a celebratory thing. Yeah. But in the 70s and 80s, there's a big drug scandal in Major League Baseball. There were many players using cocaine.
It was the 80s, man.
I mean, it was the time for it. And Dave Parker was like one of the big names involved in the group of players. So, and which probably aided his naturally wild persona. And he had to testify in court. He never got jail time or anything like that, but he basically had to testify in court and tell people that it actually happened. Okay, how about some more fun things about Mr. Cobra?
Yeah, I mean, hey, to somebody that might be the most fun fact they've learned about him.
It's entirely possible. He is the first American athlete to make $1 million in a single season. That's across any of the major North American or major USA sports.
We started it all.
He started it all. I believe it was a 5-year, $5 million contract, which in the 80s is just like there were a lot of. This is a time in Pittsburgh where their community had been declining. And a lot of like the working class in Pittsburgh was very upset that he got this record-setting contract, just because he's a millionaire. Now he's seen as one of the elites, and that's not what Dave Parker wanted to be seen as. He just wanted to be paid because he's that good. Another fun fact about him: we talked about the home run derby in the first episode. We followed up on it last episode.
Yes.
Dave Parker won the very first home run derby.
Oh, so he's a lot of firsts already.
Yeah.
First to hit $1 million, first to win a home run derby, first to snort it up his nose.
He won the very first home run derby in 1985 with 6 home runs.
Is that
it's a very low number?
Yeah.
I think the format at the time was, here's 8 players. They each get 10 outs or 10 swings. Whoever has the most wins. And so that's probably. And it was the first year they did the event. So I don't think many players really understood what they were doing. Okay, 2 more little fun things. He's kind of an aura farmer.
Kid.
Yes, exactly. There's a very funny picture of him. It's him in the clubhouse with a teammate of his. And it's just a shirt that says, "If you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping." Because he liked to party.
That's pretty funny. Yes,
I can send it to you. Maybe we can edit it into the video somehow.
It'll be the first image I put in.
And then to follow up on Mr. Dave Parker, the very last thing, I said his kid had got to induct him into the Hall of Fame before he passed. And Mr. Parker, the Cobra, I like saying Cobra, wrote a poem a long time ago, probably when he fell off the ballot and didn't get inducted the first time, because he always believed like he's going to get in eventually. My peers will vote me in. So he wrote a poem for his son. Well, he wanted to give the poem for his induction, but his son ended up saying, and it looks like, if I'm reading this right, this is basically when he retired, when he wrote this. So, a poem by Dave Parker. Here I am, 39, about damn time. I know I had to wait a little, but that's what you do with fine aged wine. I'm a pirate for life. Wouldn't have it no other way. That was my family. Even though I didn't go on parade day, I love y'all. The Bucks own my heart. Bucks is the Pirates, the Bucks, Because those 2 championships I got, y'all played in the first part. He won a World Series with Pittsburgh. I'm in the Hall now. You can't take that away. That statue better look good. You know I got a pretty face. Top tier athlete, fashion icon, sex symbol. No reason to list the rest of my credentials. I'm him, period. The Cobra. Known for my record arm, and I will run any catcher over. To my friends, families, I love y'all. Thanks for staying by my side. I told y'all Cooperstown would be my last ride. So the Star of David will be in the sky tonight. Watch it glow. But I didn't lie. In my documentary, I told you I wouldn't show. Which is referencing he didn't think he was going to live to see himself inducted. And he didn't.
Damn.
If that doesn't sum up the Cobra,
That's kind of bad. It was pretty funny.
Hell of a way to go out, tell you that much. All right, let's. These next two should go by pretty quickly.
This is turning out to not be a shorter episode.
It is not a clean 40, that's for sure. Fourth guy I want to talk about, he was inducted on his 10th and final ballot. Billy Wagner, he is one of the greatest relief pitchers of all time. We had CC Sabathia, who starts the games. Billy Wagner was a guy who came in after the starters, and he was a closer, meaning it's the 9th inning, we're winning, go get him, boss. It's hard for relievers to make the Hall of Fame. I don't know why that is.
You just get way less like time to prove yourself.
And that feels right because you just like outside of the save stat, which is like you successfully closed the game, they count how many times you do that. Pretty much all the other reliever stats, like they don't accumulate enough of them for them to look impressive. And so when you get writers that want to look at stats or just go based off of the stories they hear about this person, sometimes relievers get left out, which is, it's really unfortunate because they're an essential part of the team. They help you win baseball games. It's a lot like the designated hitter, which I believe I've explained that to you before. Yeah, your only job is to hit.
Yes.
Right. Where like DHs, much like relievers, are looked down upon because like how much do you really affect the game if you only do one part, which I don't think is fair because it takes everybody on a team to win.
A lot of cogs.
Yes, a lot of different variables. So Billy Wagner is and he played for several teams. He is one of 8 relief pitchers to finish his career with 400 career saves or more. And here, this ties back into like, it's really hard for relievers to get in. Of those 8, he is now he is now the 4th to be in the Hall of Fame. So of the top 8, essentially closers of all time, only 4 are in the Hall of Fame. 2 of those potential candidates, Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrell, are still playing. So hopefully they get in eventually. Another guy, Francisco Rodriguez, he's on the ballot right now, but it doesn't look very good for his chances. And then the other guy, John Franco, who played many decades ago, he's not in either. So of the top 8 closers of all time, half of them in the Hall of Fame.
Crazy.
So they get disrespected pretty badly. Fun fact about Mr. Billy Wagner, he's a natural-born righty, but in his youth, he fractured his right arm twice, so he said, fine, I'll just throw left-handed. And he became a Hall of Fame pitcher as a left-hander. So that's really impressive.
Imagine what he could have done with his right hand.
Well, right. And like, who knows? Because in baseball, it's typical. Since there's less left-handed pitchers, they're typically seen as harder to hit. So maybe it actually worked out for him. Who knows? He's probably not going to complain.
Yeah, can you imagine just trying to learn how to like pitch with your non-dominant hand?
Yeah. When, I guess, thankfully, he broke his arm when he was young. So that way he had time to really learn how to do it. Not the only case of a Major League Baseball pitcher throwing with his non-dominant hand, but that's a topic for a different day. And then I just want to throw 3 stats out there because they define why he's a Hall of Famer. So the live ball era in Major League Baseball is from 1920 and beyond. Before that is considered the dead ball era because hitting was impossible, pitching was overpowered. They changed some rules. Now it's the live ball era. So since 1920, for a left-handed pitcher, he's got the lowest earned run average. So earned run average is how many runs do you give up over like 9 innings. He's got the lowest for a left-handed pitcher since 1920. Batters batted .187 against him. So they got to hit 18.7% of the time against him.
Is that good or no?
That would be fantastic because a Hall of Fame, like the elite Hall of Fame hitters bat 300. The not so good hitters that don't stick around will bat 200 or worse.
So okay, so having under 200 is really good.
Yes, he was very, very effective. And then he had a .998 whip.
What is a whip?
Whip, WHIP, stands for walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. So it's essentially you add up walks and your hits, you divide them by how many innings you've pitched over the season, over your career. It's a measure of how often do you let guys get on base.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower that number is, the better.
Like golf.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so .998, that number is below 1.0. That's elite. It's very good. All three of those numbers are the best by left-handed pitchers since 1920. So the dude was a stud. Last one, by the name of Dick Allen. I believe birth name Richard Allen, which will come up soon here. Dick Allen, he has a couple of fun nicknames. He's from Wampum, Pennsylvania, so he is known as the Wampum Walloper. And he was also nicknamed Crash Helmet or Crash because he would wear his batting helmet out in the field sometimes.
Is that not illegal? Can you technically do that?
You can do it. You can do it. So it's kind of a sad story why he would have to wear his batting helmet out there. So Dick Allen is African American and he played in the 60s and 70s.
I can already see where this is going.
Right. And we don't have to dive too much into that because that's not what this podcast is about. But essentially, he was a controversial figure because much like Dave Parker, he didn't like taking shit from people. And basically, opposing fans would throw anything they could at him if they got too rowdy. So they needed the hat.
I thought it was going to be more fun.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it's a great nickname, but it just has an unfortunate root. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So his name, he prefers to go by Dick Allen. When he came up to the big leagues, the media called him Richie. That's just kind of what a lot of people called him. But he was like, "No, I'm Dick Allen. I'm not Richard Allen. I'm not Richie Allen. I'm Dick Allen," because he viewed Richie as a boy's name. And Dick is more of a manly name, I guess. And I mean, if that's what you want to be called, then there's nothing wrong with that. But again, considering the time period,
That period, it was more of had a lot less connotation to it.
right? Back to the more fun stuff. Mr. Dick Allen was known for his light tower power.
What's this mean?
Light tower power. So he's a power hitter. I mentioned Shohei Ohtani was a power hitter. Dick Allen was also a power hitter, hit a lot of home runs. And by light tower power, I mean, like, think of like at a baseball game, how tall like the light towers are at a baseball field. Like he could hit a ball up there.
Yeah.
So
he was a pretty dang good hitter.
yeah, he's a big bopper. And again, this is from the 60s and 70s, so home run measurements aren't always accurate. They can be fibbed a little bit, but the record states he hit a 529-foot home run. If you hit a ball 400 feet, that's crushing the ball. So 529 is insane. And it's a funny comment, but I think it was kind of said in jest. One of his contemporaries at the time, Willie Stargell, who was a Hall of Fame player for the San Francisco Giants, he goes, after this 529-foot home run, Mr. Stargell goes, "Now I know why Philly fans boo him. When he hits a home run, there's no souvenir. Because he hits it so damn far that no one can get the ball."
Out of the park.
Exactly. And then if you ask Chicago White Sox fans from the time, some of them will credit Dick Allen for saving their franchise. The Chicago White Sox have just a very bland meh history of like not being a good baseball team. They have success every once in a while. And around the 60s and 70s, there was a bunch of talk of moving them from Chicago to St. Petersburg, Florida, or Seattle, Washington. I think this is a time when the MLB wanted to expand. Of course, St. Petersburg is now home to the Tampa Bay Rays. Seattle is the home of the Seattle Mariners. Shout out Big Dumper. So he's credited with maybe even saving the Chicago White Sox franchise, and he only played there for like a couple of years at the end of his career, but he was still productive and so fun to watch that it helped attract fans and money to the franchise. So yeah, and so in the 60s and 70s, so I had mentioned in the previous annotation about Billy Wagner that 1920 and beyond is the live ball era. Before that's the dead ball era. The 60s and 70s, when Dick Allen played, was almost considered like a second dead ball era because the pitching had gotten so good again. So he played in the second dead ball era and could still put up the offensive numbers that he produced.
Was even way more impressive.
Was considered very impressive. So, yeah, a very wild and interesting career. But that is Mr. Dick Allen, and that is the last of my Hall of Fame inductees.
Is he alive or dead?
Dick Allen, that's a good question. I know he was voted in by the Classic Ball Era Committee. Dick Allen. He passed away in 2020.
Oh, dang.
So he was also posthumously inducted, which is sad because a lot of the bless you.
Thank you.
A lot of these old school legends that don't get inducted right away usually pass away before getting their due, which is an unfortunate reality. Well, did you have anything else? We're at about an hour and a half right now.
I think we're at our time right now. I just had one little thing. I didn't do too much research on it, but I just found this interesting. If you didn't know, like game prices are rising right now.
Yes.
And Xbox just announced that they're taking the Outer Worlds 2. It was $80. It's now going to be $70.
That's nice.
So yes, step in the right direction for the game community. There wasn't too much news about gaming this week, so just wanted to point that out there that it's not perfect, but it's better than what it looked like it would have been.
$70 is outrageous.
I'd agree. I saw a YouTube video one time that said games are just going to get cheaper and cheaper.
Yeah, that didn't happen. No, I mean, because when we grew up, they were $60, which I mean, if you ask my dad, he thought that was expensive.
Well, yeah. And right now, like I think the games that we all play right now are usually free games,
right?
Like Rivals and Siege,
right? Which is nice. I forgot. Yeah, that is free to download, isn't it?
Yes, it is. When I bought it, wasn't, but now it is.
Yeah, I forgot they changed that.
But I think that's a slow week for nerds.
It's all right. I didn't find too many interesting things. I found a lot of topics that's like I could spend 5 minutes on that, but I didn't know how worth it was. Final thoughts before we get out of here. I mentioned before I am going to try and switch up the topics a little bit. Like I said, I have a college football topic planned. I might try some NFL, but we'll make sure I'll make sure I spread that out a little bit.
And for once next week, even if there's no news about it, I will stop talking about superheroes and I'm going to delve into a little bit of maybe Star Trek lore.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm interested. I've seen more Star Trek movies than I have Star Wars movies.
Hilarious, actually, because I think I've only seen a couple. My dad likes it, like Star Trek. So
I'm the same. My dad loves. He does. I don't know if he loves it, but
we just watched Black Mirror. It's just like a Star Trek ripoff episode.
Okay,
it's like what Black Mirror is, right? It's like an anthology. No two episodes are connected.
Okay,
except for the 2 Star Trek ripoff episodes.
Fun,
but they're really good. And we just watched that, so I was interested in that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to switch it up so a little more little less superheroes.
Yeah,
a little more other stuff.
Diversity.
A little less Xbox as well. I'm gonna do some PlayStation stuff too.
Well, maybe Xbox shouldn't be in the news so much.
Exactly. No. So, anything else you want to say?
I don't. Topic wise, sports wise, I got nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is episode 3. We're very consistent with this hour and a half thing.
Yeah, no, I'm really surprised about that. I thought this was gonna be a 45-minute episode, but
I thought so too. I do like to ramble.
No, you did a good job. Well, thank you for listening to Balls and Blasters.
YouTube, Spotify, check it out.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.